And when I landed there on a boat, I worked on this banana boat, I landed there, everybody walked around naked. And I was confused, because where I came from, that was abnormal. The whole tribe was naked. They were swimming naked ever since they were little tots. What I found out is a guy talking to a girl never looked at the girl's body, only the eyes. Since they were swimming naked, there's no basis for looking at a girl. There were no peeping Toms. Do you understand that? If everybody swims nude, nobody's going to look in your window and watch your dress. Nobody's going to poke another guy and, hey, get a load of that chick. All that's learned by this stinking culture. All your books on sex are bullshit, they're lies. Because the way we're brought up makes us look at things. If you covered a girl's nose, says the guy, did you ever see a girl's nose? No, show him a little bit. He may have to loosen his collar if he's brought up to that. I'm trying to tell you the world is wrong. I'm one person. Most of you people seem to take to that. This is happening all over the world. Peter Joseph said there's 50 million people that now know about the Venus Project. And more people want to know more about it. I'm trying to free you from the prisons that your state puts in your head. That's what I'm trying to do. The success rate so far has been very high. I want to tell you some more about human beings. Somebody said to me, because I mentioned that love was a fluctuating thing, he said, do you love your mother? I said, in what area? My mother was a racist and a bigot, but I didn't love her in that area. So love is never consistent. You love certain things about people, never completely, any more than you completely love yourself. So I learned that when I brought a Japanese kid home one day, a friend of mine. I brought him home, my mother says, I don't want that kind around. So I used logic and reason. It didn't work at all. All the good books says use reason, common sense. Doesn't work. My mother says, I still don't want him around. I said, boy, if you can't change your mother, how are you going to change the world? Oh, I said, that's right. So I told my mother a lie. I said, Mother, I was swimming in the East River, and the East River has a high wall, and I couldn't get ashore, and I was drowning. And Masato, this isn't true, he threw a life raft to me. She said, oh my God, you mean he saved your life? I said, yes. I was so rude to him. I said, yes, you were. She said, please, Jock, ask him to come to dinner Friday or so. I want to beg forgiveness. I was so rude to him. I said, I don't know if he'll come now to get her to plead with me, because she pleaded more. So I called Masato and said, the minute you come in the door, my mother's going to say, God bless you, want to kiss you and hug you for saving my son's life. Well, at dinner, she was really talking to him. And I walked over when Masato went to the washroom. I said, Mother, what do you think? She said, you know, he's just like you and I. He's a human being, wonderful parents in Japan. I said, remember the yellow race with this face. And she said, he doesn't matter. He's a nice boy. I said, yeah, but he's slanty-eyed. And she said, that doesn't matter. He's a human being. And she's giving me all the stuff I used to give her. And now, after about a month, she really liked Masato. He was a nice guy. He's easy to like. He spoke perfect English, had no Japanese mannerism, none of this sort of thing. And she used to put her arm around Masato about a month later and call him son and me. Once that happened, I said, Mother, he never saved my life. She said, you little devil. I would have never opened the door. I would have never opened the door, which means that some people can't follow reason. So how did I change the clan? I didn't do it with logic or reason. I got to know the head guy of the clan, because he once said to me, he had a war surplus store, and I used to buy magnifying glasses and things like that. He said to me, Jock, you're a smart guy. What do you think of the KKK? I mean the Ku Klux Klan. He said, yeah. So I said, it's a great organization, but it doesn't go far enough. What do you mean? But if you attack you don't get the ear. Always, it's a great organization, but it doesn't go far enough. Then what do you mean? See? So I began to tell him what I meant. He said, what do you do with all the lenses you buy from me? I said, well, I work on optical devices. He said, can I see it? I took him to my lab, and I showed him a lot of things, including memory metals. How many of you know about that? Metals with a memory. Not one hand? About 7 to 8, about 8 people know about it. There are metals today that have a memory. Now here's what that means. If you buy wire and you wrap it around a form and heat it to about 400 to 500 degrees Fahrenheit, it stays that way. It looks like a spring. But if you pull it out, bend it, twist it, do anything you want, and heat it, it goes right back to the shape that you made it in. So that means if you took the memory metals, and nowadays they have memory fabrics, sutures for sewing up the skin. So the doctor ties a surgical knot, then he pulls it out straight, and he sticks it through the skin when he cuts it. And the heat of the body causes it to tie a surgical knot. But you have to tie the surgical knot first and then pull it out. So if you have a continuous stitching and you pull it out, it'll stitch the whole area. Now, I wish I brought some of that with me, some of the memory metals. But how did a man think of it? He didn't. There was a Swede that mixed different metals together. He was just trying to make metals stronger. And he used titanium and nickel. It's called nickel and titanium. And he bent it to see how strong it was, like the letter U. And he put it on a table near a heat lamp. And when he came back, it was straight again. See, nobody really invented anything. It was all discovery. In France, a guy made a wing 3 feet long and strapped it on his back. And he climbed up the top of the Eiffel Tower, and he jumped off, and he died. And his brother-in-law wrote, make wings larger next time. Where do you think it comes from? Nobody can know how to build an airplane right away, and nobody ever makes a mistake in their life. They don't know. So the guy that had nitric acid and glycerin, he was fooling with it, and the building disappeared, so did the guy. His cousin wrote, never fool with that stuff. Nobody ever makes a mistake, because Edison said he went through 7,000 different things before he could get a filament for the lamp. Did he make mistakes before? No. We don't know. That's the truth. So today they say there are good people, bad people, lazy people, hard-working people. No such thing. Everybody is shaped by culture. Now I'm going to give you the worst scenario, a serial killer. I want to show you a guy that killed 20 women or so. What's the matter with that guy? Is anything wrong with his head? Not necessarily. I'm going to try to tell you what made him that way. If you don't understand me, at the question period, question it. When this kid, Albert Fish, who was believed to have eaten 45 children or so, when he was about 7 years old, he was sitting in bed touching his private parts, his penis. Now, kids don't think of sex or anything, he's just touching it. His mother was an old-time Baptist. She came and said, you're going to burn in hell touching that part of your body. You will burn eternally. And the kid started to shake. And at night, the mother says at 2 in the morning, he was screaming. She came into the room, he stuck needles into his genitals, screaming in pain, because he didn't want to go to hell. So he used to take minority kids in the woods and try to cut their genitals off to save them from hell. Is he bad? Is he good? He's shaped that way by that abnormal culture he was raised in. That's what makes people that vile. They come from the South, say, I'm going to get me a nigger and I'm going to kick his ass. Is that guy speaking? Or is that what he learned in the culture that he lived in? Think about it. There are no bad people. A Ku Klux Klan man that hangs a black man upside down, cuts him open, because they're taught that the black man is nothing. He has no meaning at all. In fact, it's a good thing